Hi guys, in this review I'm going to be talking about Blade Tech knives, actually a specific model, the MLEK Military Law Enforcement Knife in light version. It's from a company called Blade Tech. If you haven't heard of them, it's blade-tech.com. You can go and check their knives out there. I've actually been watching the knives for a couple years. I've thought they look pretty good, albeit on the heavy side in my opinion. And I finally bought some. Blade Tech is actually, if my understanding is correct, they got their start in Kydex manufacturing. And they do all kinds of tactical manufacturing products. They make tech lock systems, by the way, which are right here. We're going to talk about their knives though. Blade Tech actually does 3 levels of quality in their knives. The first one is the All-American Magnum series. This is their most expensive and 100% US made series. This is the Pro Hunter Magnum, the PH they call it now. That's a nice blade design. It's kind of a sweep with a pointed tip on it. G10 handles. But the main reason I haven't gotten Blade Techs now is I think they're way overpriced for what you get. Way overpriced. I mean, this knife is $200. If you get the extreme version, it's $272, which to me is way overpriced. Compared to a Spyderco of this or better quality I can get for $100. I just really don't know where Blade Tech gets off on their pricing. They're smoking weed. Now this is an MLEK Magnum. This is a US made version with S30V steel. It's also expensive, $200 or $272 for the extreme. Okay, so they're Magnum series US made. And also another critique on all the Blade Techs, I think they're just heavy. It seems like they have no concern for weight whatsoever. I guess they have a following. There's a lot of guys that like them. Some of you guys might, but I'm not being super impressed by them. 5.5 ounces for this Ridgeback knife. It's a kind of a hunting folding knife. That's, in my opinion, that's a little bit heavy. Then we get to the Classic series. That's basically their mid-level quality, we're told in their catalog, with 154 cm steel instead of S30V. They still have G10 handles, and they're still $120. Then we get to the Lite series, and that's what I'm reviewing here. And these are their overseas made, which I think would compare to the Bird series of Spyderco or Redline Benchmade. But I do think both the Spyderco and Benchmade offerings, and actually Cold Steel too, blow this knife away. So let's talk about specifics on the MLEK Lite. This is a $42 knife, at least in July 2008, which I thought was a pretty good price, and that's why I kind of pulled the trigger, just to kind of get familiar with Blade Tech for myself. And my overall impression of this knife is not good, to be honest with you. It kind of reminds me of a swap meet knife, something I'd pick up at a swap meet. The quality is not good. It's not even near that of the Spyderco Bird or the Benchmade series, which in my opinion are very hard to tell apart from their Blue Line series or other US made counterparts. So the quality control is very tight. And that's the thing we got to remember is I don't really care if it's made in Taiwan, India, Pakistan, doesn't matter. If the company exercises really good quality controls and they are consistent in their enforcement, the blade's going to turn out really nice, even if it's a mass-produced blade. Now, I'm not saying Blade Tech didn't do this, but this knife, if it's representative of their Lite line, I will never buy one again. In fact, I'm sending this one back. Let's talk about why. First you see, of course, the blade shape. This was really hard for me to tell on their website because I clicked the link trying to see the MLEK blade shape, and a lot of the images just did not open. And Blade Tech is a proprietary company. There's very few places you can get them, I think, so you basically have to buy them from them. And you guys might know some sources that I don't, but on their website you would think they'd have images. But I didn't know that it had the swage beveling up here on top. And this is a purely subjective analysis. I do not like that. You know, I'd prefer to go with their Pro Hunter that has that nice long sweep, kind of like the Emerson knife that I've reviewed on a video. I love that sweep. I don't think you lose anything with that sweep in defensive capability. So if we look in the catalog here, let me remind you what I'm talking about. That's a blade style I do like. It's just a regular, kind of a skinning blade style versus this MLEK blade style that has a more chisel. That's it right there. Has that chisel top. I guess what they're trying to do is emphasize the defensive capability of the knife, being able to penetrate whatever. I don't like it. I know you guys might, but I think it sucks. Also, the grind on this 440C blade is hastily done. It seems like to me it's uneven. It reminds me again of a swap meat knife. It just is not impressive. It's adequately sharp, not super sharp. Too much belly here. I don't like this indentation. I prefer it to be flat right in this portion here, and then give me the belly as it goes towards the tip. Fit and finish on the knife is not good. If you look right here in the thumb hole, there's some big old nicks right here in the grind, or the however they put those in there. And this is a brand new knife out of the box, so it sucks. The jimping on the front and back, albeit sharp and it is very functional, is coarse. It seems like it was almost afterthought. There's several grind lines near the tang. You can see some scratching perhaps in this portion here, just random scratches. It's probably from just a few times I've opened and closed this knife. There's something in there scratching it. So the blade, not a fan. I don't mind the thumb hole, that's fine. It works fine. How about the lockup? The lockup's substandard too. It has movement up and down and side to side. In both the models I ordered and got today, side to side, yep, there's wiggle there, wiggle up and down. The side to side I could take care of with some judicious working of the pivot screw maybe. The up and down, you're stuck with it. Now, if Benchmade on their red line and Spyderco and their bird can make knives that lock up tight, how come Blade Tech isn't doing it? And we're talking at the same price point too. The handles, not good. It's synthetic G10. I think what we're talking about here is Zytel. They are affixed with Torx screws on one side, which screw into, I take it, these rivets. Actually, that's riveted on that side, so I'm not sure if you could take it off or not, nor am I going to try. However, they're very slick on the side. They don't provide any traction whatsoever. The checkering is very shallow and ineffective. It's not G10, and it blows. I do not like these slabs. I'm not against Zytel at all. There's lots of ways to make it, you know, have some traction, kind of like this cold steel knife. You know, this is Zytel, and they put a raised diamond pattern on here. It's got some traction on it, but they missed the mark with these scales. I don't like them. This is a full stainless steel liner knife. They have holes drilled out in it. Solid back design, standard locking back. Don't know how strong the lock is, but from what I've seen on other things of the knife, I wouldn't trust it that much. Got some aesthetic scalloping on the rear spine of the knife. Take it or leave it. That's not bad. I mean, takes a little bit of weight off, I guess. The clip is large enough. I like that. However, it seems like it's very weak. So as I lift that up, I mean, it's like there's hardly any resistance on it at all. They need to put a stronger tempered steel on there. Also, let's matte finish it or make it black too. This one is bright and shiny. For a knife that's marketed as a military law enforcement knife, I just don't understand that at all. So, don't like the blade or the clip here, and I wish it was mounted higher up as well. So, military law enforcement knife Lite by Blade Tech is a thumbs down. I'm going to send it back. By the way, I'm running out of time like I always do. This is the packaging. Again, it's kind of like swap meat packaging. This is the partially serrated version of that same knife. Serrations are okay. I don't mind those. But this one has the same lockup problems. I mean, it wiggles up and down. You know. Plus, these knives are heavier. They're 4.2 ounces, and in my opinion, that's kind of too heavy. I mean, if Spyderco, Benchmade, Kershaw can make knives that are super strong under 4 ounces, why can't these guys? So, Blade Tech, at least the MLEK Lite versions, are getting sent back. I do not recommend them. If you want to go and spend the $200 for the other US made versions, go ahead, but I think it'd probably be money poorly spent.